B-Rad here with Buzz TV. We're really lucky to speak with a friend of ours, Russ Freeman of the Rippingtons. How you doing today, Russ?
Hey, good to be with you. How are you?
Really good. So, you moved to LA when you were young, came from Nashville. Now, I know there's a great scene in Nashville. So was it a school thing or to just the LA music scene?
Well, I was really dialed into the music scene in LA at the time. All my heroes were playing on records, and like the Crusaders, they were all doing record dates, and I thought, well, that'd be awesome to be a studio guy. So that's my original plan when I moved to LA.
All right, and then we see you started the Rippingtons, and 25 years later, it's been a great, wonderful ride, and you know, we see the new CDs here. Tell me a little about it.
Well, the new CD is called Built to Last, and it's a little bit of a departure from our other CDs, but it's really kind of in celebration of the fact that we've lasted this long, and also thanks to our fans for having propelled us this far. It's been an amazing journey.
And that's what another question I was going to ask in the title itself, Built to Last, but you answered that for me.
Yeah.
I also see you have your own label, and one of the artists on it is Lee Rittenhauer. Myself as a guitar player, I'm a big fan of yours and Lee's. How did that all come together?
I have to give a huge shout to my manager and partner, Andy Howard, who put the whole thing together. And we had this vision way back in the 90s to start a label that was kind of based on a label that we've been involved in before, where every artist had some input creatively into what they wanted to do, rather than just have a corporate entity. And so I think that attracted a lot of really great talent to Peak Records, and so I have to give credit also to the artists. I mean, the tremendous amount of talent that we have.
Oh, you definitely do. And that's something that we try to help indie artists and people coming up with. With your label, do you guys accept unsolicited music? If someone was going, hey, this might be a venue to try to shop something, how would they go about doing it?
Well, I would just suggest that they go to Andy, ahowardent@aol.com, send her a package, and go from there.
Perfect. Now, in general, just with artists that are trying to make their way in the business, would you have any advice on routes to take, especially with how things have changed, especially in your longevity? Would you think maybe it's more of an indie thing with technology, or do you think trying the older true method of just play, and hit a bunch of A&R guys and go after a label deal?
Well, today we have social media, which has become really critically important to an artist, and I think that's what attracts major labels. When they see a buzz around an artist and they have social media working for them, that's what creates the interest. So that would be the first thing. And obviously, it would be important to hone your craft and really be good at your instrument. I think people are forgetting sometimes about just having the basic building blocks. And past that, I think all talent is recognized. I really do believe that. So hang in there.
Exactly. You have a great band, and I see the lineup through the years has changed a little bit, but generally you have players that have been with you for decades.
Yeah.
How'd you get so lucky and find some great guys?
Well, the plan originally was to always have a changing lineup. That was the structure of the band, and I knew it would change, and I welcomed that change. And it was really a prescient thing to do, because over the years, that's what I think has kept the original, inspiration and energy going. So it's also a testament to the great players we've had. A lot of them have launched successful careers coming from the Rips. Exactly. So we're kind of known for that as well.
Well, we've seen that.
Yes.
Something else we've noticed on the new album. A friend of ours, it seems, did a little stint there, Zack. Yeah. Now that normally someone wouldn't picture Zack and you guys getting together. How did that formulate?
Well, I would like to say that that's kind of the crux of what's exciting about music. When you put things together that don't really, you think, that they would work, and they work, it's exciting. So the idea is to try to always create and innovate. And I have to give a huge shout to Zack for being on the record and for approaching it how he did. He just did such a wonderful job.
He really is a great guy, and I mean, he's such a diverse player. Yeah. That's the thing no one really gets. He really is just a talent.
Well, this is going back to what I said before, to hone your craft and to really have that craft. Look at how broad his career is. I mean, that's kind of the case in point.
Exactly. Now, we also see you have an orchestra section in that as well. A friend of mine is the conductor for a symphony orchestra, and when he writes, he takes a metronome out, sets his time, and just in his mind writes a 40-piece thing. How does something like that work with you?
That's just talent right there, isn't it? I mean,
it's more than that. It's genius, I think, just to hear a click and go. When you come to writing, is there any formula you do, or is it more or less I have a groove and I just follow it.
It's all different ways. I mean, I try not to follow a formula. I mean, that's kind of the point of my writing, is to just break new ground and try different things. So it's always great to have new palettes, and new colors to work with.
Right. And when it comes to recording, same type of thing. Is there a formula when you go in? Is it we're laying down basic guitar riffs, or are we doing a whole session with the band?
The way I kind of like to work is I like to throw as many things as I can, and then I subtract. So I just found that over the years I've worked that way a lot.
Very nice. And one last thing, sponsorships and endorsements. Anyone you're sponsored by, we want to, give a little thanks to?
There's been so many fantastic companies who've been generous to me. There's a lot. There's a huge.
I know how that is. The list is just too big to mention. We really thank you for your time. We know you're busy. You got to get on stage, and I hear the VIP tent's calling you too. Right, but I appreciate the little bit of time you have with us. It's been a pleasure. It's been, oh God, for me, almost 12 years since I've seen you. Can't wait to see you on stage, Russ. Thanks again.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Great. Have a great day.
You too.